Hi folks, welcome back to MetaBox Tutorials. Today, I'll show you how to show a list of your website users on a page on the front end, as well as allow manual settings to show or hide a specific user on the list. I'll make the list as a table. We can display the default information as the names, and can display some extra information like this. These details will be saved in custom fields created with MetaBox. I will separate the list in pages, limit the number of users displayed on a page, have pagination for it, and also have a searching box that allows to find any user. We definitely need some code for this practice. You can add code to the themes files, or just use MB Views, an extension of MetaBox. Let's see how we do it with these both ways. These are the tools we need for this practice. First, it's the MetaBox plugin. It provides a framework to create custom fields. It's available on WordPress.org. By the way, you may want to have some advanced features from MetaBox extensions. You can download them individually, or use MetaBox all-in-one to have them all. In the event that you don't want to touch the themes files, you should use MB Views. Beside that, no matter what method you choose, you should use MetaBox Builder to have a UI in the backend to create custom fields for your users. Next, we need MB User Meta to add custom fields to the user quickly. Finally, I'll use the Data Tables library to add the pagination and searching box to the table. By default, WordPress already has some fields for users to input information like this. But sometimes, you may need some other information from them. Then, you should create custom fields to save those extra data. These are some custom fields I will create for this practice as an example. There is a special field here. This is to choose whether this account information will be on the list or not. Now go to MetaBox and create those fields. For the first field, choose the radio type. It allows adding some options in the choices box for users to choose from. In this case, it's just publish or not publish. So I input these two options in the yes and no form. Instead of using the radio field, you also can use some other type as switch, checkbox, or select field. They are quite the same for this use. Other fields are common and typical fields, so just create them as usual. I set no special settings for them. After creating all the fields, move to the Settings tab, and choose Location as User. Now, in the profile page of any user, you will see the fields we have created. Just fill in the information. In the real case, you can add the user list to any pre-built page with some other content. But I will create a new one to display only the user list on the page, to keep this practice play around the main content. I leave this page blank since I will add the user list to it later. In this practice, I provide two ways to display a user list on the page. The first one is using PHP. We'll add some lines of code to the themes files. It is not as complicated as common thinking. Just follow this practice with some simple Git. The second one is using MB Views from MetaBox. This way, you will not touch any themes file. This plugin also helps to simplify the code a little bit, even if it is simple already. And the list will not be affected when you change the theme. So, I highly recommend this method. We should create a template for the page first. So, go to the theme folder and create a new PHP file. Now, add some codes to the file. This is to display the default header and footer of your website. This is for the table, and it's quite familiar since it's the same as the table you usually add to a post. Pay attention that I name this table with this ID. We will use it for JavaScript later. Go to the page editor. Apply the created template for it. Then on the front end, you will see the page with the table like this. Just the titles of the table display. Now, back to the template file to edit the code. We will get data and insert it to the body of the table. Since we have a field to choose to display the user or not, we will add code to add a condition for it. We use this function to get the user information. This condition is based on the value saved in this field. So the key will be the ID of the field. And this is the value of the option, that means users allow us to display their information. These lines help to get only users who choose the yes option in the field. Next, let's get information from each user. We have multiple users, so we should use a loop to get all of them. This is to pass the ID from this variable to this one. Name of each user is from a default field provided by WordPress, so we have this to display the users' names. All the other information that I'll show on the table are from custom fields, so I use this function to get the data from the fields. This is the ID of the fields. This regulates that only data from the field assigned to the user object will be obtained. The table on the front end has this look for now. To paging, sorting, and searching for any user in tables, we should use the datatables library for JavaScript. Back to the template file. Add this line to register the CSS library of datatables. These are to declare the JavaScript libraries, including the one from datatables. This is the script that helps to use the datatable library. This is the ID of the table. And the library will do everything to add paging, sorting, and searching functions for you. Go to the page. You can see the user list with those functions as you want. We also need to create a template for the page. But I won't go to the theme folder. Just go to Meta Box, Views, and create a template. First, also the condition. In the same way in using PHP, the key will be the ID of the field. And this is the value of the option. Now, let's get users' information. Also use this function to get users. As well as, add a loop. Inside the loop, we will get data from default fields and custom fields. Instead of adding code for this, we will insert fields directly from the list on the right sidebar. You also have options to choose the output of the data. That's all information about the user I will get in this practice. Go to the Settings section of the view. Set the type of the template as singular. And choose the created page. In the case that you want to input the table into any other place, you will have other options here that match your need. If not, just set the type as shortcode, then embed it anywhere. It always works. Go to the page on Frontend. you will see the data displayed without the table. Let's add the table format now. Back to the template in the views. Add a heading for the table. And add the table. They are exactly the same as the one we use with PHP. In the body of the table, I also added the loop, which is exactly the same with this one. Now, move each one from here to this part in the table. There is a table on the page now. Once again, back to the template to add paging, sorting, and searching to the table. The same with the first method. Add 3 lines on the top and bottom to declare the libraries. Then, go to the JavaScript tab. Add the same script as the method one. This helps to apply the data table library on the table. This is the ID of the table. As mentioned, the library will do everything to add paging, sorting, and searching functions for you. And this is the table with those functions in the final result. The pagination works well. You also can search for any user. So, that's the end of today's tutorial. If you want to learn more about how to play around with MetaBox, please watch other tutorials on this channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to us for more tutorials. Bye.